Hi, Cancerians. I'm going to give you a minute because I was just finishing up with the other readings, and before I sat down to do yours, like I just did Aries, Gemini, Taurus, and your turn was next. And a neighbor came by, and then I got up and made dinner, and then I made cookies, and then a batch of brownies. And now I'm sitting here looking at candles and listening to chill out music. And I don't really know why, because this is not my routine at all. So, whatever you're going through right now, I hope that you believe, or how do I word this for you? You know when they say, I know what you're feeling? I'm aware of what you're feeling on a grander level than just your human emotions. Because my human emotions right now are telling me that I need to distract myself, that everything's fine and I'm just relaxing. But underneath that, there is a sense of you running from an undertow in your emotional body. Something in your emotional body really wants your attention, and you're keeping yourself preoccupied by a whole bunch of things. Like doing the best to be some version of you that you don't want to be. Like you're so good at doing the stuff you're doing, you're just doing them instinctually. Like I just made cookies and brownies and entertained a guest and sat here and did 3 readings, and it hasn't even been 2 hours. And all it's telling me is that inside me there's something I'm avoiding. It feels like oh God, this feeling is so unique. It's like being a very rich hoity-toity housewife. Or a house husband, like somebody who's like the empress in her own right or his own right. And you're just completely unacknowledging your emotional state. Because it's been, beneath you. Why should you even pay attention to your emotions? They're only there to serve you. Without getting too much more into this, I don't want to shake this off. Oh goodness. You're like the soccer mom or soccer dad, and underneath it you're this Amazon. You want to have braids in your hair, and you want to like grab a spear and a bow and arrow and like jump through the forest and go sit and live somewhere by the beach, like on an island. That's what this feels like. And it all made sense to me when the Amazon aspect of it clicked in my mind, because I really love Amazons. And it seems like the universe is getting this message through you, through the filter of the things I know. Baking, cooking, making a home, doing these things, and it's showing me through me and my actions what you're doing with you and your actions in your life. You're pretending everything's fine when you're a mess. Sorry to be blunt. But Cancerians, if this is like the collective energy of everybody watching this, holy shit, you guys. I mean, wow. Like, you are lying to yourself about something so much. It's even got people talking about you, or this is your energy. where it's just gossip and shit talk and telling yourself that, you know, you're, oh, like it's just never perfect enough for you. And why isn't it perfect? Because the energy inside you feels so off. You as an individual person feel so misplaced within yourself. Like you're a puzzle that somebody put back the wrong way. And you're complaining at the puzzle instead of fixing it. That's what this feels like, a Stepford wife that doesn't want to be a Stepford wife, but she keeps putting up with it. You know, the wife of a rich husband who stays his wife because it's an easy living for her, but she freaking hates it and he doesn't pay any attention to her. It's that feeling of like stuck within yourself. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Revenge, but I'm being shown this in my mental TV box. There was a character on there called Victoria Clark, and her character was really well written, honestly, but she was the villain of the story. But at the same time, she was the one that was hurt in the first place to become the villain so that she could be the villain for the next person. Like, it was a chain of, she was groomed to be the villain despite what she wanted. And all of that happened through heartache, which is what I'm attempting to tell you this entire time. Your heart's breaking and you're doing everything you can to avoid it. Like, avoid acknowledging it. Now, I'm not going to go through the definition of each of these cards because you're here for a message, not an encyclopedia lesson, which usually I run off on tangents with all of it. So I'm going to do my best, or as best as I can for what I know right now, to break these down under a certain amount of time frame for you. Every negative energy, thought, entity, thought form that you have been attracting and sending out has been sabotaging your life and love in your life, getting people and energies to look at you as if you need to be saved. What you're going through already has already been a process of, you've already been through it, you've already changed, and now you're changing again. This Nellis the Alchemist is about change you can't undo. And 2 + 7 is a 9, so a life lesson being learned. 2 + 5 is a 7, so having faith in everything. The most basic way I can break this down for you. And the fairy who was kissed by pixies, you're surrounded by love, and in the next 7 days you're going to see this. You're going to see the disparity between how much your inner dialogue is in conflict with what's actually happening in your life. So you know the person who's constantly going like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm totally fine, everything's fine. But they're a wreck on the inside. This week they're going to see that they're a wreck on the inside. If there's people around you that have been talking bad about you, and these people, within the next 3 hours, 3 days, before it gets to 7 days. So maybe, because it's 2 + 1 is 3. So, 3 days from now. You're going to notice how the universe has stepped in the form of the fairy godmother to give someone a little bit of intelligence and another person a little bit of wisdom, and to bring humor and safety and the crumbs and, you know, gold to you, basically. There's a certain thing that people over the age of 50, and that's just a human numerical value, people who've lived, there's a certain sense of knowing within them that is only attained through the journey of time, of experience, of going from the young maiden to the mother to the crone. And your inner bad guy needs to be in support of you Instead of, instead of negative criticism, it should be telling you constructive criticism. And it probably is, but you're not seeing it in a wise way. So it's kind of like having a friend who tells you what's wrong with you so you can help yourself in that, honest best friend kind of way. And instead, you usually would get all, oh, it's fine, blocking everything off and saying, no, we're not going to look at that. Well, this week you're going to look at it. You're going to allow yourself to change. You're going to allow yourself to accept that you've already changed. I'm sorry for what it is that you've experienced, Cancerians. If I had experienced the experiences that would result in the feelings I'm currently feeling and the images I'm seeing, somebody really broke your heart. They really took that innocent version of you that you were on the inside and that you were just blossoming out to be. And life experience, not they as in to victimize you, but the experience of it took something from you, but it also gave you something else instead. And you've been grieving and criticizing yourself over what was taken, and you haven't noticed what was given. It's like a blind person finally looking in the mirror. You don't know what you're looking at yet. So don't be mean to yourself about it. And if you feel like you missed out on a part of your life, like the youth of you was, a battle of your inner dialogue versus your outer world, and how you managed to find the balance between. And then here, it's like you go from the maiden directly to the crone, and you skip the mother. That's better. Bring a little more light into this. So really, the negative self-talk is being transmuted into its beneficial aspect this week. Whatever you've been telling yourself or people are saying about you, handle it in a way where you show your true innocent self. If someone calls you ugly, smile and say thank you. If you look in the mirror and you call yourself ugly, ask yourself why. And then when you get a definition of it, when you get an explanation from your negative self-talk of why you are less than perfect, look at it as something you can improve on, and then improve it. Be grateful for the negativity, and the negativity becomes positivity. And I'm not going to dig into what happened to you. I feel it, and it's breaking my heart, honestly. I'm sorry that you went through that. The thing that took your inner voice, that went from nice to mean. There's a song by Brandi Carlile. It's called Story. S-T-O-R-Y. There's a line in there that says, "These lines upon my face tell you a story of where I've been, and the story of who I've been. And these things happening inside you that have gotten you to grow up and change, they're the story of who you've been and where you've been. So take the negative self-talk and alchemically make gold out of it. Give yourself your own wisdom and advice. Nobody knows your inner dialogue like you do. Lace, the Moon's Daughter. You know, you really have an opportunity this week to it's so you really have an opportunity this week to take that darkness in your life and make it into light. There's wisdom to be gained in everything. So why wouldn't there be wisdom to be gained in the negative self-talk or the gossip of other people? You take the Soul Shrinker and you take the fairy who was kissed by pixies, the fairy godmother, the alchemist, and the Moon's Daughter. And the bottom of the deck is Bridget, the Bright Mother. And underneath that is Pook, the card of resolutions. This isn't about you growing up or you getting wise. Like, it's none of those initiatory gate kind of things. It's you loving yourself. You're actually learning to love the worm tongue inside yourself. Grimace Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings. Oh, it's like you're tuning it to a higher frequency, so what it's saying goes from negative to positive by default, which means you're leveling up your life and your experience in life. Because you've learned how to take the bullshit in your life and see the best in it and move forward as the best and most simple version of yourself. You're a Cancerian, you're the Moon's Daughter. You have the earth beneath you as your eternal guardian, anchor, and friend. Fairy godmother at your side. You've been kissed by every one of the pixies, and you've grown up from maiden to mother, or from mother to crone, or from crone to goddess, or however you want to look at it. And you did it by taking that negative aspect of you and loving it. And what was I saying in the beginning about the whole Stepford wife thing? Suburban soccer mom, you got everything going, you know, the world at your fingertips, and you're just the Empress and everyone else combined. Yeah, you need to have a little fun this week. Be vulnerable, be yourself, have fun. Take a nice bath. Go for a nice walk in the forest or in a park somewhere, even if it's snowing. Your energy really does come off as the Bright Mother. But the Bright Mother... Sorry, I'm looking at the bottom of the deck right here. Bright Mother needs to decide within herself that she also needs to take a rest and be at peace and have fun by herself. Honesty with the self, resolution, childlike play, companionship, making a decision like Sheila Kruak. It's the next step after the fairy godmother, kinda. This week you decide to be your best self and actually go live life as that. Congratulations. Really, that's no easy decision to make. It's not easy to say to yourself that you've grown up, that you're not going to do the same old things anymore, and to change the pattern of behavior. Hold on one second. I'm back. Sorry about that. brownies are about to burn. So we were talking in the beginning about the armor you have on top of yourself to pretend, to show other people you're okay, but inside you're not okay. Well, that armor is coming off this week in a very gentle, loving way, because it seems like the internal dialogue gets too much for you to handle, and you realize that loving yourself is easier. It's like the universe just comes in and switches out all the bad words and puts good words instead. So instead of telling yourself you're ugly, it's immediately you're pretty. Even if the tone is, you know? And that's already happened because the process is already underway. You could also have a date this week that has you feeling really young at heart again. With someone who really makes you feel like you're your total self. Male or female, like you're the only thing he sees or she sees. Which causes you to decide over here with Indy to make a decision to be more in harmony with your masculine and feminine sides within yourself. You can still be a good mom or a good dad and a good business person or a good whatever you want to be, while you're authentic and you're emotional and you're compassionate and you're also a leader. Your authentic self, at peace with all of your, binary black and white matrix stuff. Everything comes into a cohesion, like when a cookie is baking, it's really squishy, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the cookie. And you let it cool down for a minute, and then you have a delicious, cookie there. You just have to let your emotions come out and cool off. This is such a cute reading. You really need to let your inner child drive the car for a couple hours. You know what I mean? Go watch a cartoon. Go eat some ice cream. Go swing on a swing. When I used to get into my modes of, responsibility and putting on a brave smiling face and all of that, I would go to the park and I would swing on the swing. And it was overlooking the lake. So when I would swing high enough, it would look like underneath me there's nothing but ocean. So I'm certain as a Cancerian, you would really enjoy that. Allow yourself to have a breakdown this week if you want to, because you kind of need to. The soul shrinker really only shows up when you're causing way too much resistance, and instead of letting go and expanding to grow, you hold on to your rigidness and your boundaries. You're like, no, I will not change. I'm going to be this person forever. Well, you don't have to be if you just love that version of you and expand anyway. Because a fairy who was kissed by pixies, eventually has to grow up to be the bright mother. And you can't do that if you're constantly sitting there telling yourself negative things. What if every negative thing you told yourself is the opposite, of the actual fact? And then all of your flaws are the lower vibratory manifestations of something that's actually really beautiful. What's your baseline emotional state throughout the day? Are you neutral? Are you cold? Are you super bubbly? Are you super deep and emotional all the time? All of that this week is gonna, like, there's gonna be a moment this week for you where you're just gonna, have enough of all of it. But you're not gonna have an outburst. You're gonna have a breakdown, which is gonna show you how to get through this thing where you put up this ice wall in front of yourself and around your heart. It's so responsible. It's such a responsible kind of self-destructive responsibility. Like you owe it to yourself to be the strong one and the tough one and the one that carries the burden. No. It's okay to cry. It's okay to just not do 1,000 million different things in a day. It's okay to just have fun and be compassionate with yourself and to just go out and walk down the store, like looking at storefront windows. Do something that changes the thing that has you stressed enough to have attracted the soul shrinker energy. Because when the soul shrinker shows up, you're already thinking terrible things about yourself. So whether other people are doing it or not is irrelevant. You're doing it to yourself first. Oh, this week you're gonna see this week you're gonna give yourself a reason to love yourself. Like, you don't even know you're doing it, you're just gonna do it. And you're gonna look at yourself as if you're this inner child carrying this massive burden, and you're gonna feel so sorry for yourself in a beautiful way. And you're gonna decide to be your own mom and your own dad, and you're gonna grow up and handle all the responsibility you keep putting on this version of you that doesn't exist. The Stepford wife person that's not real. Because if you look at this, they look like 3 different people. And the only one that looks miserable is the one that has all the responsibility and the people around her. The bottom of the deck is a master maker upside down, by the way. You're doing too much and you're causing too much disturbance in what you're capable of. You're messing up because you're taking too much responsibility. Like you were rolling dough, baking dough, and you're so distracted by life you didn't realize one side is one loaf is way bigger than the other one. As like a terrible baking metaphor for you. Take a break. I'll keep doing the readings and you go take a break. Oh, Cancerians. I don't know what you're doing this week, but I know you're going to really love yourself a lot more by the end of it. Tell me all about it. I love you. Bye.